Looks like 72 yards. I can blow his head off clean from here. Can I take a shot, Dad?
Getting a headshot from here's no big deal, Jack. Think you can pull it off, Thomas?
But Daddy, he ain't no zombie. He's just a man.
Thomas! We're doing this to survive. You know that.
Using a firearm for self-defense is our God-given right as Americans, Thomas.
Come on, Thomas, shoot. Shoot him.
Shoot him, Thomas!
Said shoot him. Thomas. Now! What are you waiting for? Do it!
Back in 2004, George Romero's zombie classic Dawn of the Dead was rebooted, where a group of survivors find themselves taking sanctuary from the living dead inside of a shopping mall. I had the pleasure of seeing this movie on the big screen. The zombies were fast and ferocious. I loved it. 2 years later, Capcom, no stranger to the zombie genre, released Dead Rising for the Xbox 360, undoubtedly inspired by Dawn of the Dead, but didn't actually have any affiliation with the movie whatsoever. Now, while I did watch my friend play Dead Rising when it was first released, I myself have never been an Xbox guy, so I missed out. I've never played it.
You poser.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is Ted. He's dead. He's just a little salty because he smells of decay.
Still smell better than you, bud.
He just has to throw in his 2 cents for everything zombie related.
Who better to ask? All of your knowledge comes from what? The Walking Dead? They never even use the word zombie. Great resource there, you noob.
Anyway, about 7 years ago, I stumbled across Dead Rising Chop Till You Drop for the Nintendo Wii at my local video game store. And I couldn't resist, so I nabbed it. So since I've never played the original Xbox version, I'm going into this review fresh.
You don't smell so fresh from here.
There won't be any comparisons to the Xbox version since I've never played it, so just keep that in mind. This is going to be a standalone review for the Wii version only.
Oh, good God, just get on with it already. By the time this review starts, your viewers will be just as moldy as I am.
Just roll it.
In the fictional town of Willarnette, Colorado, Willamette, freelance photojournalist Frank West hires a helicopter pilot to investigate the mysterious presence of the National Guard, who has sealed off all entrances and exits to the small mountain town. While the developing situation is kept secret from the general public, Frank intends on getting his scoop and uncovering the story as it unfolds. In order to circumvent the government, Frank lands on the rooftop of the Willamette Parkview Mall and instructs the pilot to return for him in 72 hours. Upon entry, Frank discovers that the building is entirely surrounded by zombies. Survivors holed up within the mall have begun constructing makeshift barriers to keep the undead out. But it only takes one idiot and her insufferable poodle to wreak havoc before everything goes to shit.
I'm saving you, baby! Wait for me, sweetie! Madonna!
Retreating to the mall's security room, Frank encounters 2 Department of Homeland Security agents along with Willamette Parkview Mall janitor Otis Washington, who then proceeds to weld the door shut, effectively barricading the zombies from the quartet, but at the same time, confining themselves within the small quarters of the security room. While taking refuge, Otis monitors the mall through a number of screens that overlook the entire building and spots survivors in desperate need of rescue. While the HMS agents are armed with guns, it's naturally up to Frank to rescue the despondent, equipped only with a camera. Chop Till You Drop requires numerous search and rescue missions to engage in order to advance the story. Since the door leading from the security room to the mall is now welded shut, Frank has to use an air duct to crawl through to reach the rooftop where an elevator awaits. This is the path you'll need to use to lead the people located throughout the mall back to safety. Thankfully, the first reward for rescuing a hopeless couple on the rooftop yields a shotgun, which plays an integral part of the game. This edition of Dead Rising focuses heavily on gunplay mechanics, using the Wii-mote to point at the TV screen in order to aim and direct your gun's target to eradicate the living dead. Using the same engine as Resident Evil 4 Wii Edition, it's the ability to aim with the Wii-mote to use your firearms that makes this game so attractive. If you've played Resident Evil 4 on the Wii, you know exactly what I'm talking about. And if you suck ass at aiming with a right stick like I do, then the ability to kill enemies in this manner will leave you licking your chops. It's freaking awesome. If you're a Resident Evil fan, you'll have no problem whatsoever controlling Frank West. Even the quick turn is here. Thank God. Now, while you are able to blast your way through hordes of zombies, let's not forget, you're in a mall, and the mall is jam-packed with shit. Shit that can be used as weapons. You can grab just about anything and club a baddie over the skull with it, such as baseball bats, and eviscerate the undead with lawnmowers, chainsaws, and bash groups of monsters with one of my personal favorites, park benches. Have a seat, bitch. God damn, that's fun. Chop Till You Drop utilizes an experience system where you amass prestige points to gain levels. Gaining levels will increase certain attributes such as increased weapon damage and durability, increased item stock, and unlocking books that can be purchased at Cletus's gun shop located within the mall. These books will teach you new melee attacks to use on baddies when they get too close. Cletus also sells new guns and the ability to carry more ammunition. Money is plentiful in the game, with zombies dropping shitloads of cash, plus the currency you earn by rescuing victims who are strewn throughout the mall. You're ranked at the end of each mission, and depending on how quickly you rescue people, not to mention how many survive the trip back to the security room, will determine your rank. The higher the rank, the higher the purse. You can also obtain other goodies by earning an S or perfect rank, such as new weapons, health items, and even secret missions, which would otherwise remain dormant. In between missions, the story continues as Frank and his new comrades get closer and closer to unlocking the horrible truth about the mysterious outbreak. There's no shortage of zombies throughout the mall, and their numbers only increase as the game goes along. Different types of enemies will also gradually appear as you increase in strength to keep all of the running back and forth to the security room from being too overly tedious, such as Joe, a bull-dyke zombie cop armed with a taser, or how about Cliff, who runs at you wielding a large blade. Even animals get in on the fun, with freaking parrots that fly overhead and drop grenades on you, or the very bane of my existence, poodles. If all dogs go to heaven, God had better leave that golden gate to his kennel open, cause you'll be sending him enough mangy mongrels to fit every angel with a Mr. Burns-styled outfit.
I really like the vest.
Yeah, this game is goofy as hell. You can dress Frank up in all kinds of silly outfits, though I refrained from doing so after I accidentally adorned him in a dress and hockey mask, and for whatever reason, was unable to change him back to his original threads. Normally, that's not an issue. And then there are the strange inhabitants that you encounter along the way. You know that saying, they only come out at night? Well, I guess you could even say they also come to the mall, as you get the strangest cast of characters creeping out of the woodwork, such as a trio of escaped prisoners who terrorize a couple through the mall's Central Park. Man, that's brutal. And the sniper family from the beginning of this video? What the fuck is that all about? I won't lie, snuffing out their lives is extremely satisfying. Even the little shit that didn't want to go through with it. Fuck them. There's even a freaky cult that resides in the movie theater who look as if they came straight out of a Stephen King novella performing human sacrifices.
Those who reject salvation embrace ignorance.
And then there are the bosses. You have killer clowns wielding chainsaws.
When the zombies came, everyone died.
You battle against a disgruntled grocery store owner.
I don't allow vandalism in my store!
And these are just some of the ones you face early on. Chop Till You Drop has so many cringe-filled, tongue-in-cheek moments that you can't possibly take it seriously. This adds so much charm to the game.
Clean up! Register 6!
But despite the fun atmosphere that the game provides, Dead Rising on the Wii is far from perfect. The graphics, while having a lot of detail, considering the setting takes place within a mall brimming with stores, does leave a bit to be desired in regards to the character models. Some of the victims that you rescue just look downright awkward. Look at this weirdo. But there's one characteristic of the female anatomy that video games always seem to get right.
Damn, look at them titties!
The soundtrack more or less mirrors the environment within the mall, with soothing music emanating from the PA system, interrupted occasionally by automatic announcements. I actually prefer listening to my own mix while thrashing lame brains. But the music that plays while in the heat of the current mission is intense and gets the adrenaline pumping. It's fucking awesome. Dead Rising Chop Till You Drop is a bit on the easy side. The game is very forgiving with generous checkpoints, and using the Wii-mote to aim your firearms at the countless enemies within the mall is undoubtedly a lifesaver. Not to mention health replenishing items are scattered everywhere. You can carry food with you, and in the food court you're able to use a blender to mix these foods with varying results. For example, mixing 2 fruits and/or vegetables will create a yellow mixture. Mix this with protein and your life bar increases. Pretty cool, huh? Now, while I could see some players being turned off by all of the running back and forth to save the numerous people in need of rescue, which admittingly can be a bit monotonous, I, on the other hand, actually found it quite addicting. Striving for those perfect scores is a goal worth attaining, and only gets easier as you begin to learn the layout of the mall. Thank your deity of choice that there's a map. Plus, there's even an arrow at the top of the screen which will point you in the right direction. This little guy will become your best friend, let me tell you. Chop Till You Drop is also the perfect length for the type of game it is. You can easily finish this one within 10 hours. There should be enough variety of gameplay to keep most players enthralled, and once you beat the game, you unlock a ton of extras. Odd Jobs consists of 22 missions where certain conditions need to be met while only being supplied with a limited amount of weapons and items. These are loads of fun. You'll have to take on giant zombies, kill baddies with only a soccer ball, survive killer clowns, mow down the dead in a car, and there's even a boss rush. On top of this, there's also a Second Amendment mode where you have to complete 20 sniper-style missions with a rifle. These are pretty challenging. The good news is that if you're on the fence about this one, it is dirt fucking cheap, so it's totally worth checking out. I highly recommend this game, as I had a lot of fun with it, especially if you like Resident Evil 4 Wii Edition. If you love shooting hordes of zombies, cheesy dialogue, outrageous characters, and all-around good-humored campy fun, the Dead Rising Chop Till You Drop just may be right up your alley.
You know, that wasn't so bad.
Hey, thanks, Ted.
Not your crappy review, you fresh fleshy. The game!
No praise, huh? Why am I not surprised?
Because you're used to failure.
Dude, seriously?
Truth hurts, don't it?
Anyway, if you've played Dead Rising Chop Till You Drop, what do you think of it? Have you played the Xbox version? How did the two compare? Let me know in the comments below. Thanks a lot for watching.
More like suffering.
I'll catch you guys later.